Good afternoon, members. Everybody got the. Good afternoon, members, and to the viewing public who are watching in our social media platform, and to our members of the public who are here also as well in the gallery. The chair will now call today's budget hearing for the Office of the Mayor of the Northern Islands to order. And at this time, do I hear any motion for adoption of this agenda, today's agenda? There is a motion to adopt today's agenda, and it has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Motion adopted. Moving along in our order of business, we are now on item 3, public comments. So at this time, if there's any members of the public who are here with us that wishes to make comments, you may do so at this time. Podium is open. Seeing that there is no public comments, we move further down on our order of business, which is item 4, introduction and a statement from the chair. So at this time, the chair would like to welcome you, Mayor Valentino Taisacan, and your staff from your office. Today, here before you is the Committee on Ways and Means. I'm Chairman J.P. Sablon. To my left is the Vice Chair, Rep. B.J. Ataw. And down at the aisle, we have the floor leader, Representative Marisa Flores, who is a member as well. To her left down will be Representative Roman Benavente. And to his left, Representative Angelo Camacho. And the other side of the aisle, we have Representative Julie Ogo with us. To her left, we have Representative Joseph Flores. And to his left, we have Representative Patrick San Nicolas. To his left, we have Representative Denita Yangtimay. And to her left, we have the Minority Leader, Representative Roy Adda. And to his left, we have Representative TJ Manglonia, who is also a member of the Ways and Means. We are delighted and joined by OMB, Ms. Vicky Vilgomis, as well as Ms. Jasmine Camacho. Also assisting the committee today, on today's proceeding, we have Legal Counsel Joseph Halan. We have Senior LA Assistant Ms. Claire Sablon. We also have our budget analyst, TJ Rabago, and helping us also with our IT is Jonathan Diaz. And of course, with our Sergeant-at-Arms, Pete Tuwai. So with that, Mayor Taiscan, this time I give you the floor for your opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Tiro Hafade, and good afternoon, Chairman John Paul Sablon, Vice Chairman Blas Jonathan B.J. Ataw, and members of this esteemed House Ways and Means Committee. For the record, my name is Valentino Taiscan Jr., Mayor of the Northern Islands. Chairman and members, I would like to thank you all for allowing the Northern Ireland Mayor's Office to appear before you all this afternoon to discuss our budget. I believe this is our first hearing, and I am definitely looking forward to more in the coming days as we, the Northern Islanders, work towards building more economic opportunities, essential infrastructures, and resettlement initiatives. By responsibly utilizing our natural resources and expanding ecotourism, we aim to showcase the beauty and potential of our unique islands. It is essential to recognize that the Northern Islands municipality comprises of 10 islands, 5 of which are prioritized for economic development and resettlement. Notably, the entire island of Ireland and Indonesia has been leased to the U.S. military under a covenant agreement, contributing significantly to our nation's defense initiatives. Furthermore, the islands of Guguan, Ascension, Maug, and Farallon de Pajaros has been designated as wildlife sanctuaries or critical habitats for endangered and threatened species, thereby triggering the federal government's Endangered Species Act in the CNMI. It is disheartening to see that the Northern Ireland municipality, which has sacrificed many of its natural resources in the development of our Commonwealth status and its political and economic relationship with the U.S. federal government, receives minimal support in return. The people of the Northern Islands now look to your leadership and compassion. They have waited long enough for assistance in developing and establishing basic infrastructures on their islands. Only then can we expect our Northern Islands residents to be active and contributing members of our Commonwealth family. Therefore, I humbly appeal to you for your assistance, including our budget requests in the final CNMI budget package. I understand that demands for our limited public funds often exceed available resources. However, as you deliberate on the budget and begin funding allocations, I sincerely hope you will possess the wisdom and resolve to make equitable decisions. The residents of Anatahan, Alamagan, Pagan, and Agrigan pray for your assistance in helping them realize their dream of returning home soon so they can rebuild their lives and contribute actively to our Commonwealth family. Once again, Chairman and members, thank you all for your time, and our team is now ready to take questions.
Thank you, Mayor Valentino Taisakan. First question is, your current budget, it's reflective on your worksheet that you have 17 employees. So perhaps my question to you today would be, is that still the case? Do you have 17 employees right now with you? Or how many total employees right now?
So for right now, I have 14.
14.
Yes.
Okay. And so there is a variance of 3 versus your proposal on this year's 2026 fiscal year budget.
Right.
So because your worksheet reflects number of positions at 17, so there was at no time that 17 employees was employed during this current budget. Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay. Maybe Ms. V or Jassy, maybe we can put clarity to the members of the Ways and Means on this worksheet.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, the mayor had 17 FTEs currently on the current appropriations, budget appropriations. However, for FY 2026, they opted to remove the 3 positions and insert one of the folks that is one of the employee that's federally funded due to funds being depleted.
Okay, so thank you for that clarification. So out of all the employees right now, currently the 14, one of them is fully paid by federal grants.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, and then in FY 2026, we would carry in the general fund.
And carrying it to the general fund. So now in this proposed 2026 budget, it will be fully funded by the general fund. And Ms. V, please help me here with the three number of positions that were minus from this year's proposed budget. We can see from the budget analysis that some of the members or employees of the mayor are their salaries were increased. So my question is, with the three number of NOPs, did they use that funding to increase this few employees from NEMO?
So whatever the baseline is for the mayor, we try to maintain that baseline, except slightly increase due to adding that one FTE or whatever, the funding for that one position.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. And then also looking at the fringe and benefits as opposed to the department's or the office of the mayor's submission versus the governor's proposal. So we're in line with all these fringe benefits for all the employees.
Yes, sir.
And that goes the same too for the public auditor's 1% fee.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. So at this time, I open up the floor to any members who may ask questions to our mayor. And let me recognize Representative Angelo Camacho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, Mayor, and your staff as well. Just looking at your proposal, I see that you have requested under rental and others the amount of 50,000. Is that for the chartering to and from the islands?
Yes, that includes the charter of the vessel going up to the Northern Islands.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, how much does it cost to at least one round trip?
I believe about for 3 days we get quotations for about 27,000 for 3 days.
And how many vendors do we have for?
We usually go through the procurement process, so we receive about 3 or more vendors.
Okay, thank you. And then my next question would be, I know the last budget we've had that discussion about maybe potentially purchasing a vessel for your office, and I guess I wanted to ask if what's the status and have we gotten in any price quotations or to see how much a vessel would cost? And I know we had the discussion too with the military surplus in Guam.
Yes, thank you for that question. In regards to the vessel, towards the earlier times in my term, I was looking at purchasing a vessel, but, looking at if I'm going to bring people out there, we need economic activity. So we have to ensure first that, we have at least internet and then, buildings for people to stay in and not just bring them up there and just depend on the mayor's office to employ them.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Angelo Camacho. Before we continue with question and answers, also joining us is today, this afternoon, is Representative Malcolm Omar, who is a member too. Further questions from the members? Recognize Representative Marisa Flores.
Thank you, Chairman. Hi, Mayor, and welcome, team. So, Mayor, in your beginning remarks, you mentioned the 2 islands that are now under protective zone by the U.S. government. Can you repeat those 2 islands again?
Actually, there's 3 islands.
Okay.
We have Mauk, Asuncion, and Faralandi Pajaros, also known as Uracas.
Okay. So here's my question. Does the mayor assess any fees? Can they assess any fees? Because now it's a protective area, right? Therefore, taking it out of your hands. has the mayor had any discussion with the federal government to actually now negotiate loss of income or projected income had they not taken that from your custody?
No, we haven't had that, but we can definitely look into it. I know my special assistant Mark here can expound more on that.
Okay. Can I then divert and ask Mr. Rabuliman?
Sure.
Thank
Hi,
you
sir.
for thank you for that. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, with regards to that, I think because of previous administrations, that was something that initially when our mayor got elected, those were documentations that we're looking through. And because the mayor has been invited to the high-level executive meetings when the office of the governor and the military is being had, we've tried reaching out through their liaison to be able to kind of set up those kind of discussions. So those are part of the plans moving forward because it is very challenging, as you had mentioned. But while we're waiting, the mayor is looking at other alternatives as we've discussed with some of the members here.
That's great. I mean, I think that had these three islands been in your custody, you could have easily done something great with it. Nobody knows, not even the Department of Defense knows. But because it's not in your custody anymore, I think that you should go back and project a loss of income and projected income from the time of taking till now as it relates to the local laws in terms of land acquisition, right? So if you could take note of that, that would be an interesting number to see. And we know 902 is coming up and all these other wonderful things with the feds are happening right now. And so I would like to see that kind of come into fruition, maybe just a letter. But I would like to also see the project analysis on the loss of income and projected income, maybe from now, time of taking till now, and then maybe another 10 years. And then my next question is, have the rules and regulations for the Northern Island mayors, for the Northern Island mayor, been completed already?
Right now, no. That's something that we are looking into and asking this body to, empower the Northern Ireland Mayor's Office to promulgate the regulations.
Okay, and the reason why I asked that, Mayor, is because I've been also discussing this particular area with Mr. Rabuliman, and it did come to our attention that the rules and regs have yet to be completed. But I think moving forward, we can come up with something, maybe mimic the mayor of Tinian or even the mayor of Saipan, and we can compare what works for you. And it's important because if you need to assess fees, travel to and from, that gives you the autonomy to become self-sufficient, right, and have your own revolving funds to account for. And then my next question is, the $50,000 for the charter, that is paid to a private company because you don't have your own vessel yet, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And would it cost about $50,000 to procure a new vessel?
No.
No.
I think maybe more. Yeah.
Maybe more than
Right.
that? Okay. Just asking. And then over here, I noticed that on one of your items, you had asked for food items in the amount of $15,000. What is that for exactly?
Can we just be clear, which page are you looking at, Congresswoman?
I am on the general fund side, Mayor Northern Islands. Ms. Vicky, this is the object code. Object code is 65020. Organization code is 14270-100.
Okay, I believe this budget is requested to cover reasonable food and water supplies when hosting important and justifiable events on Saipan as well as Northern Islands.
Okay, I guess then my question is, Ms. Vicky, because that is, and most of the mayors have a fund for hosting, maybe we need to reclassify that and put that appropriate to where it needs to be, maybe on other expenses or donations, or because when, or operational supplies, maybe?
Acknowledge, but if it's intended for food, then we can just leave it at food. Or it could fit in any one of those accounts that
Right.
you mentioned.
But I'm just thinking, right, for audit reasons, that might put him in a position because that is looking like he's paying for food. But it looks like, it appears that it might be paying for food for the people that live there, right? Although we don't want to infringe in his authority as a mayor, I think reclassifying that gives him more authority to spend within his executive power. And then it clears him from any audit that might come across as unwarranted. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mayor. I yield my time.
Thank you, Representative Marisa Flores. Are there any other? Let me recognize Representative Roman Benavente.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Mayor. Thank you for being here and justifying your proposal. How many residents up there in Northern Ireland right now?
Well, when we talk about residents,
Individuals that are living up there.
right now there's I only have 4 staff on Agrigan and then 2 on Pogan.
Okay. You have alluded earlier that it's, and I personally know also that it's been used as a sanctuary for from Fish and Wildlife, the Moke and Guguan, and you said there's 3 islands on Farol and the Pajarus, or another name for Orocas, same as Guguan, another name for Pistol, no? Regardless to that effect, since Mr. Roboliman is here, your special assistants, have you seek any type of, since this is mandated by the Fish and Wildlife Service for sanctuary and whatnot, have you tried to explore any kind of fundings that relative to assist your effort over there as a mayor in regards to the Northern Ireland on the federal side?
Well, Congressman, not necessarily on the federal, but with our local government here. You know, I've had meetings with, regulatory agencies such as Fish and Wildlife, the Customs and Biosecurity, to not necessarily take away the authority from their divisions, but to train my staff to, be, at least we have a MOU that, my staff are certified to search and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's basically what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that you're trying to infringe yourself with the effort of the process of Fish and Wildlife, but what I'm trying to say is that if there should be any assistance, federal assistance from Fish and Wildlife, such as grants and whatnot, that can assist you through Fish and Wildlife, connected through Fish and Wildlife, I think that will be very beneficial too, and it will only expand your horizon and also help your effort, Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Roman Benavente. And before we continue on with questions and answers, also joining us is member Representative Ralph Yumo, who has just joined us here this afternoon. Mayor, before we continue on, I see that you have requested 10,000 for utilities, and the current budget has you at zero on utilities, and the governor's proposed had you at zero. We looked at the 2024 budget, you were given 4,000. So my question is, what source of means is paying utilities on your office if there is such utility bills? I'm sure there is because you have requested for 10,000 on your budget request.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. I believe we also use for our appropriations, yeah, from the SNIO.
From the SNIO to
Yes.
pay this, okay.
Right.
So clarified, any members have questions? For the first round, let me recognize the Vice Chairman, Rep. Bijayato.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mayor, good afternoon to your team that's joining you this afternoon. Ms. V, Jazz, welcome to the chamber. Mr. Mayor, I know that Rep. Flores had asked you regarding regulations, and I think the regulations that we're referring to is something towards the ability to collect some funding for the Northern Islands. And this is whether it's a flow chart or a fee landing into the Northern Islands. And I know that Public Lands is probably listening right now since we're talking about landing fees. But would the mayor's office have any types of, we call it temporary regulations, readily available at this time if we were to pass a legislation that can be publicized and put into the process? Is there something that you guys already kind of have in hand that you're considering as part of your regulations?
Yes, sir. That is something we are working on. Similar to the Aguigan landing, where you have to go through the Tinian mayor before heading to Gold Island.
Okay, I ask this because if this is a possibility right now, maybe through this temporary legislation on the budget, maybe we can include something to that extent, but provide the potential regulations already within the act. So within this specific period, we can kind of create you a limited term revolving account to assist your office. Is that something that the mayor of the Northern Islands would be, I guess, in support of?
Yes, sir. We fully support that, and back in the days, there was not much of mariners heading up to the Northern Islands, and at this time we have a lot of boaters heading up there without proper notice to our office. So that is something we can look into. And
Yeah, and that was very recognizable especially a couple years ago when
Right.
all these YouTubers were going from Guam directly to Northern Islands. As soon as we started bringing this up about payment and all of a sudden, you saw their channels just remove the Northern
Remove,
Islands
right.
from this. And this is a way that we can help even the administration rather than moving funds around within the budget, but also allow you guys to be able to generate some revenue within the fiscal year while we work on a standalone legislation, so that moving forward you can have the regulations prepared. But if you have some sort of regulations, call it a draft or whatever, we can insert that language within the budget, give you that authority, so that while we're working on a standalone legislation to address this issue, you can have the real regulations prepared, so that when that legislation becomes law, you have a regulations readily prepared for the AG's office to do the public education notifications and to actually put the regulations in our books. Can we work on that so that maybe in the next couple of weeks? I know the time is short now, but we want to make sure that we can include something like that within the budget, so that we can you can be self-sustaining in a sense, and it'll really help OMB rather than scramble with the legislature and trying to move monies, you have the ability to make some sort of funds within the budget. This is not going to increase the budget in any at all, but it'll give you guys additional funds for yourselves for the fiscal year. Then we can work on a standalone legislation. Can we work with you guys on that to prepare the regulations that we can actually include in the budget? So whether it's 4, 5, 6 different things that we can include so that you guys can already implement those right off the bat as soon as the budget bill is signed into law.
I think, I fully support that. Not I think, I fully support that, Vice, and, I know my special assistant here is ready to tackle that also.
All right, then maybe from the SNAP side we can ask to borrow money from you guys down the road. But it's gonna help you guys out, and hopefully hopefully within the fiscal year you'll be able to collect additional resources rather than go to rent vessels.
Right, yeah.
Hopefully, maybe that'd be something that can get you guys to the point where purchasing an actual vessel for the Northern Islands at zero cost to the central government with your ability to make monies for the mayor's office. And then in addition to that, just on the fringe benefits, how many of your staff are utilizing the government health insurance, or I guess we can call Medicaid also the government health insurance, but how many of your staff are reliant on Medicaid, and are they considering to transfer in to the government health insurance?
Vice, I apologize. I don't have that data with me at this time, but maybe we can ask OMB if they do have it.
Yeah, because right now it shows everything with the fringe benefits, no, on the budget, and OMB has provided a number. But I know that every time we would request for the maximum, which is the government insurance, right? And the government open enrollment happens in November. This is after the budget, and we don't want to. We don't want to hurt your budget, and we don't want you guys trying to argue with OMB that this person transferred into government health insurance. So maybe that's something to consider before we move forward, or maybe that additional funds that you guys will be able to generate through those through the additional language in the budget can also assist in providing funds towards OMB so that they can address the insurance benefits that potentially your staff might get into. No?
Thank you, Vice.
All right. So thank you again, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Any members for the first round? Let me recognize Representative Denita Yangtamay.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome, Nemo. Way back in February, I attended a meeting for the BRIC grant. Can you please update us on that? And is this something that will be economically beneficial to the Northern Islands, with your boats and your hotels and everything up there? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that, Rep. Yangtamay. Let me have my special assistant update on the BRIC grant.
Thank you, my mayor. I think, and I appreciate you mentioning the meeting that was held down at the multipurpose. There was a couple of grants that we were referring to, and the BRIC, the Building Resilience Infrastructure and Communities. We're moving forward as business as usual, but we are more in limbo at this point because we're not sure with what's happening out there in the United States, the U.S. But our advisors here on island, they're just telling us to move on, moving on as business as usual. But with regards to the benefits, this is in short, is just a scoping for the safe room for the Northern Islands, basically a blueprint. So like in the context of going after different grants, a lot of the federal side, the federal agencies needs documentation. So this is one step of hopefully achieving economic prosperity to enable the mayor to have the blueprint to build a safe house that can withstand up to about 200 plus miles per hour winds. So these are building blocks to try and achieve the goal that the mayor has put forth. And in addition, I just want to bring up that through the Office of Insular Affairs, the mayor's office was also awarded, and this is the digital connectivity using low Earth orbit, basically satellite internet, without naming any specific companies because we're not promoting just one brand. So that's moving forward, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks, the mayor's office is working hand in hand with OGM and the Office of Procurement. Great people, shout out to them. And hopefully that should be established within the next couple of months. Thank you.
You still have the floor, Rep.
Sorry,
Denita
thank you.
Yantime.
Hilso. And one more. Are you friends with DLNR, the Secretary of DLNR? I heard that they have extra boats over there. Thank you.
I think I'll say it on behalf of the mayor, we are friends with everybody.
Thank you, Special Assistant Mark Reboliman, for those clarification answers. Any member for the first round? If not, I recognize Representative Marisa Flores for the second round.
Thank you, Chairman. And I guess, Mayor, this was a question that I'm visualizing all of your passengers going up there and all these beautiful things happening in the future. Right now, because there's no landing dock there, it's an at-risk kind of like jumping off into the next ocean and to the next boat. Do you have insurance? Is insurance required for any of your, I guess, charters? Is that included in the charter package so that it saves you from liability at this moment since we don't have any insurance?
At this time, no, but we do hand out waivers, waiver forms to the passengers.
Okay, that's good. And I think maybe that's one of the things we can talk about in regard to Rep. BJ's proposal, because maybe some of these fees that you are assessing, portions of that can go to this insurance kind of protection. So my next question then is to Ms. V, OMB, actually legal, sorry. Because they have a waiver that's being signed, is your waiver a injury waiver? What is it? Limited liability? What is it?
I can't recall the waiver, but I believe it's for injury and should anything happen when you're on the vessel. Yeah.
Okay, so that is from one vessel to the other.
From the vessel going up to the Northern Islands and returning back to Saipan.
Okay. General liability.
Right.
Okay, so, all right. I think I'll ask that on a separate question. But now we know that there is a waiver that have some protections in place for the mayor, and then we can work on how we can also apply some, I guess, attach portions of these fees to include this other side just to protect you. Okay, thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, Representative Marisa Flores. Any other members? Any questions for the mayor? If there's, let me recognize Representative TJ Manglonia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Mayor and team. Thank you guys for being here. Just a clarification, for professional services, 60,000. Can you explain what that's for?
So if we exhaust our for our charters, vessel charters, we can tap into this and contract another vessel.
And do you have a rough estimate of how much it would cost to procure your own vessel?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, no worries. And then kind of in line with Rep. Marisa and how the military is, I guess, has control over those 3 islands, right? Or jurisdiction over that. are you guys kind of working with them on any negotiations to help with the developments of the Northern Islands, such as like the land strip maybe in Pagan or anything like that?
Those are in constant conversation with the executive branch as they are, in meeting with them. So every time the mayor does attend, it's on a limited basis with regards to that. So we're properly going through the respective agencies through their channels to kind of carry the voice of the mayor because if they're in those rooms more often than not, that's why I said we're friends with everybody, trying to partner up and ensure that the mayor's message is carried on. Because getting appointment with some of these high-ranking military officials is a daunting task when we're not even sure when they actually do come on island. So we're just channeling through the respective agencies. Thank you.
Maybe this is something too that we could work with our delegate, right, to kind of hammer
Very
that
true.
message. I mean, there's a lot of potential for the Northern Islands. You're saying there's a lot of passengers now that want to travel there than previous, right? So, constructing that land strip will open it up to, at least some charters and tours and potential revenue generation. So I think maybe this is something that we can help you guys too to hammer the table and prioritize for our Northern Islands. But that's all. I'll yield for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative TJ Maglonia. Mayor and Special Assistant Mark Reboloman, I know that in the past, I'm not too sure if it's still happening today, that those cruise ships that actually port here in Saipan, before they sometimes kind of anchor in the Northern Islands before they head their way here. Is that still the case? Are we still seeing cruise ship anchoring in our Northern Islands?
The last we've had a cruise ship on Pagan was in 2018.
So since then, there is no cruise ship that have been anchoring on our Northern Islands that you have known of since
no, sir.
2018. Okay. And going to the question, Mayor, of your whenever you pay a vessel for back and forth to Northern Islands on an annual basis, on a fiscal annual basis, how many times do you procure a vessel to back and forth to the Northern Islands?
Thank you for that, Chairman. I usually do quarterly, but with my great working relationship with the U.S. Coast Guard Commander on Guam, Commander Jessica Wars, they give every opportunity that they do travel up to the Northern Islands. They reach out to my office if we need to bring up some supplies.
That's
But
very.
I try and, with my trips, I try and do it every quarter.
That's really nice to hear, Mayor, that you have some partnership with the Coast Guard as well. And so that brings me up to the next question, because you said you have to go through the process of procurement to acquire whichever between the 3 or 4 vessel vendors. How does that process take? Does it take quite a while? Does it just take 5 days or 2 weeks to procure?
I think about a month, to announce bids and then get all the quotations in place.
So roughly monthly, just to get one vendor awarded for a vessel to head to Northern Islands and back. Okay. So clarified. Thank you for that answer. Any further questions from the members? Recognize Representative Marisa Flores.
Mayor, thank you, Chairman. Mayor, quick question. In 2013, you were not there yet, but maybe this is something that we need to dig into. In 2013, the CNMI purchased a $600,000 boat. I'm not sure what this was for, but it was purchased under Homeland Security. Do you know Mr. Bulliman, if that boat is still there?
Not to my knowledge, Congresswoman. I'm not sure what we're referring to.
Just point of clarification, I think that's I think you're referring to the Kirida. That was so that boat was purchased through the buying of our tonnage, our tuna
Westpac.
fishing tonnage for Westpac. That boat was given to Fish and Wildlife through Westpac because they purchased the tonnage of the I think the tuna tonnage. That was a cap for, if I'm not mistaken, it was Hawaii. So they took the tuna the tonnage for the tuna for I think 3 fiscal years from the CNMI, and the payment was that boat. If I'm not mistaken, it's the Kirida boat that you're talking about.
I don't know, it doesn't say, but it does say that there was a purchase of a boat of $600,000 and that was custom built, a 35-foot multi-mission workboat in May of 2013. So, Mayor, we don't know where this boat is. We don't even know if it's in existence or it's been purchased somewhere, bid somewhere. But can you please write a letter to maybe procurement and supply or somewhere and see if this boat is still in existence, that you would be doing us a favor by... I have no idea, but
Right,
at some point, we need to find this boat. And if it's salvageable in any way, and it can help you with any kind of resource that you may need, and it's already purchased and we own it, then we can see what we can do with that. So, thank you, Chairman Ayul.
Thank you, Representative Marisa Flores. Any other questions from the members? If there's no further question, Mayor Valentino Taiscan, and to your staff, Special Assistant Mark Rebalaman, on behalf of the Committee of Ways and Means, we thank you for coming before us and putting clarity on our questions and listening to our proposals moving forward. At this time also, I'd like to thank OMB, Ms. V, and Ms. Jasmine Komatsu for joining us this afternoon. So with that, Mayor, I give the floor for any closing remarks if you have.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I would like to thank you all and the members, to Ms. Vicky and her team at OMB, Secretary of Finance, and all the other agencies, like how my Special Assistant said, we're friends with everyone here.
Thank you, Mayor. And moving along in our order of business, we have announcements. So the chair would like to give a friendly announcement to the members of the committee that next week we have before us Department of Labor for Monday, June 23rd at 9:30. And then we have Tuesday, the Northern Marianas College at 9:30, Tuesday morning. And of course, we have on Wednesday, the Office of the Mayor of Saipan at 9:30. So with that, are there any other announcement from the members? If there's no further announcement, we are now on our last order of business adjournment. And at this time, the chair adjourns this budget hearing. Thank you, members.